Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as promised, we're going to take a dedicated look at the new Chanel Les Beiges Tender Palette. In my video from last week, we looked at the Intense palette, also from the Summer Les Beiges collection. We did swatches from the Tender palette as well, and some comparisons with other eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection. But I did not create a look using this, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. And I just received Kogan Do's new eyeshadow palette, and these shades here, I know they're not the same, but they do remind me of this vibe. So I'm going to add it in. I'm going to do some comparisons against the Kogan Do palette. I do think what we have here is much more pastel pink in comparison, but I think the lightness of the shades here might be actually kind of similar, like you might get a similar vibe. So why don't we get started with creating a look? And many of you have told me that you think the Tender palette is absolutely beautiful, and I 100% agree with you. So at the end, I'm gonna try to give my summarized thoughts, and for those who are still on the fence between Intense and Tender, I'll see if I could throw out a few points that might help you make your final decision too. I'm going into this shade here. This is the lightest shade and actually blends right into my skin tone, but I'm going to actually have this all over the lid. You'll see too with the Tender palette, to create a look is very effortless. So you can see the tinge of pink I have on my lids, and this itself can be very pretty too. Then I'm going into this shade here, placing that above the lash line. And then taking this shade here, which is like a rose gold, putting that above the mauvey pinky shade we just put on. Going into the deepest shade here, I'm adding that to right above the lash line. I'm actually going to further deepen this area here with a different brush. This is the flat definer from Sonia G's Sky Eye Set. And then I'm diffusing it slightly into the crease. Going in with a finger, this is the shimmer shade, and I'm popping that right on the center of the lid. Go back in for a second application. I am in the mood for shimmer today. For blush, I'm going to go into 126 Beauty Benny. This shade, or this product, is still available at Selfridges. It's a limited edition release for their pre-summer collection. For lips, I'm going to use Burberry's Satin Kisses lipstick, and this is First Blush. It is so pretty. It just has like that right brightness to it that really puts you in the mood for summer. It's like a touch corally, and I used this the other day with the Les Beiges Tender palette, and I thought it went so well together. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this again today. This is the finished look, and this is my ideal pink look. Everything kind of really goes well together. There really isn't one part of the makeup that overtakes all the others, so it's very complementary. The lipstick is also that just the right brightness to it that it doesn't wash me out, but it covers like my dark pigmented lips. And sometimes you just want that, right? You just want like the perfect pink or maybe the perfect peachy color, and you don't want what you have under your lips to show through. At least that is the case for me from time to time. So I really, really like this. Also the eyes, the eyeshadows are not too light. Really light pink pastel shades tend to not do much for me. It's not my preference. And so I find with this, there's enough shades and different tones in here and depth to give you a textured look, an interesting look. So I really, really like this palette. And while we're at it, I'm also going to swatch Kogan Do's palette, these 4 shades here, to compare against Les Beiges. So we'll first start with the Kogan Do shades. They all have like a satin finish to them. These two are obvious metallics. I would say this is a satin matte, and this shade here is also a satin matte. In the pan, it does look a little bit more metallic than it is matte, but with the swatch, it does seem to be, you know, both of these are matte shades. And then with the Les Beiges, we have the deepest shade here first, and this is really pretty, such a pretty color. And then we have the beautiful metallic. I still want to put this all over my eyes and have that be the look. Then we have the shimmer shade, and then the really light pink that I use as like a base shade. And our last shade here. And let me add one more application. Again, I think all of these are just like part of the same family. It's 2 different color stories, but they kind of have like similar vibes. This here from Chanel is, I guess there's more impact to them because you do have deeper shades. You have this really beautiful metallic. The most similar shade's got to be this one here that I think resembles this the most from Kogan Do. And maybe Kogan Do has like a touch more pink or fuchsia even with this shade, versus here it's like mauve-y, like pinky mauve-y and a little bit grungy. And earlier I said I really love this eye look and the tones, it just all works together. It's not too light. The Kogan Do shades might be a little bit too light for me, or I might go heavy in the shade and use the rest to accent, because as you guys can see, these are not going to really show up on my skin tone. They would be good toppers, brow bone highlights, inner corner highlights, etc. Last portion, I did say in this video, I'm going to summarize my thoughts and see if I could make some points here to help you guys decide between the 2 Les Beiges palettes. So the number one most obvious thing is that the color stories are really different. So if you know in your heart you like pinky, plummy shades, this is the one. You're gonna get really effortless, beautiful looks from it. But if you like something deeper, green, especially green tones, this is going to be the one. I do think we see a lot of pink, plum, mauve color stories. If you have a lot of those already and you want to try something different, you won't be disappointed with Intense, because this is also really beautiful and effortless. Don't let the deep green shade or any of these shades here make you think otherwise. It's really effortless, just like this. I do think this is more daytime appropriate. I do think Intense, just with these colors, come off as like more of a nighttime look, but actually you can take it from daytime to night really easily. Whereas this, If you want to take it to nighttime look and make a really smoky eye, you do have to rely a lot on the shade. You can use a shade to deepen this, deepen that, like you can mix it with any one of them, but it's going to take more work and time to achieve. Whereas here, it just might be going in and apply 2 to 3 applications of the same shade to get that kind of smoky nighttime look. Because this collection is really beautiful and has exceeded all of my expectations, I say if you can, purchase both of them. I don't think you'll regret it. It's just beautiful. And because this is summer, I think once it sells out, I don't know if it's going to go away or it'll be available for some time. So that's the other consideration too with these eyeshadow palettes. Yeah, I like both of them and I'm glad I actually did get them. I know from pictures they just didn't stand out, but in person they're absolutely beautiful. I hope those summary points helped you guys out. Let me know below what you ended up getting or what you have decided on. And I will see you again in the next one. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the bell to get notified every time new content is released. Talk to you soon. Bye.